shaking, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay, and today we're going to be doing the March TBR. Now, I want to start this video off by saying that I completed my February TBR jars, so I'm not taking a punishment. I'm super excited with how 2024 has started. Now, I have committed myself to a lot of things in March. I've over-committed myself in March. I am participating in Realmathon, which is hosted by Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy. I am on Team Shadows, I believe, and that is, the team leaders for that are Mel from Mel Lenore Reads and Lexi from Books with Lexi. I'm super excited to be a part of this. I took part in this last year and had a blast. Happy to be a part of it this year. I'm also taking place in a readathon hosted at my own personal book club. That is a full month-long team challenge kind of thing. So I've got two challenges going on, Realmathon and the one with my book club. So that's going to be bonkers in itself. But I am also going to add my jars into this, with the caveat being that I am not going to take any punishments for any books that I don't read out of my jars for the month of March, because I have so many things going on, but I just could not do the jars. I really enjoy the jars every month and what things it's picking up for me. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to get started. If you do not know how I do my jars, I pick 4 books out of each of my jars, and I hold myself accountable for only reading 1 book out of each jar, but I pull 4 just to give myself some choices. I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't know much about the books that I'm pulling out of these jars, so I'll pop up a picture of the cover and I will tell you what got me into it, did it get recommended to me, why it came into my jar, and if I know a little bit about it, I will tell you. But let's go ahead and get started with this new releases jar. So this holds all new releases that I'm interested in from January through March. Okay, 1. This is going to be Fae Bound. What? I am super looking forward to this. I love this cover. I actually own the Fairy Loot edition of this, which is freaking gorgeous. I also own her first series. This is by Sarah El Arifi, and I own the first series by her, which is The Final Strife, which I also haven't gotten to. Really want to get to it, but I'm also interested, so interested in Fae Bound. I've heard such great things about it. So we're gonna go with 2. So this is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. Please correct me, I may be wrong about that, but I know that she wrote another duology that I haven't gotten to, but I'm also still interested in, and I also, just this sounded intriguing. I think it has something to do with vampires and tea, so that's all I know. But recently I did hear some negative reviews about it, but it doesn't mean that I'm not still interested in it. We're gonna go with the 3, as you know, multiple got attached together. Okay, I picked this one last month, but it's gonna want me to pick it again, and it's an Education in Malice. S.D. Gibson, you really want me to read this book. I did shuffle all of these. I took these all out of the jar, shuffled them up before I put them back in the jar. So it really just wants me to read an Education in Malice, which I don't know much about this. It's the companion novel to Dowry of Blood, which I read and enjoyed. And 4, which it grabbed 2, so I'm gonna pick 1 out of there. Did not see it. This is going to be The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. This is a thriller. I'm not sure which one this is about, but I've read it from Rachel Hawkins before. Some I really liked, some I really didn't like. I heard this is very much a departure from what she usually does, so I'm interested to see about that. And I feel like 2024 is like the thriller year, because a lot of the new releases that I'm looking forward to are thrillers. I don't know where all my fantasy sci-fi releases are. Please, if you know of any, drop them down below in the comments so I can add them to this jar, because I need me some good fantasy new releases. Okay, so we have picked the 4 from the new release jar. I'm going to now pick from the owned jar. Now I did, again, I poured these out, I shuffled them, and then I put them back in the jar. So hopefully we won't get any repeats. But this jar is getting really full. I have not really bought that many books in 2024. I'm on kind of like a ban, don't buy any, so I haven't. And so I haven't really added anymore, but I also have read some and taken some out, but I don't really know what is happening here and why this jar just seems to get fuller every time. Okay. Of course, they all fall out. 1, Okay. So this is A Dagger in the Winds. I think this is by Brandon Noble. This was recommended to me. It is an indie self-published work, which I'm really excited to read more of course, because that's one of my goals. But I don't know much particularly about the story. Okay? 2. This, y'all, look at this. Sarah Arifi really wants me to read her. This is The Final Strife, which is the first series by her. So I have Feybound, which is the new release by her, and then I have now The Final Strife, which I'm very, very interested to get to. So that's super intriguing. 3. This is a tiny one. Okay. This is going to be Wool by Hugh Howey. So recently, the Apple Plus TV show came out of Silo, I think, which is a companion novel to Wool. But I do own Wool, and it's been sitting on my shelves for 5,000 years, and I do want to read it. Sci-fi dystopia, I think, and it's a series of companion novels. So this is The Wolf and the Whale, and I don't know much about this. I want to say that this is more literary fantasy. I just heard a ton about it, about how, you know, it was such beautiful writing and just such a beautiful story, and it put it on my radar. I don't know exactly what it is about, but I'll pop the cover up here. I do own that in physical format, so I'm super, super excited about the picks that I've chosen from the owned jar. Now we're going to move to the indie self-pub jar. So, I shuffled these as well. A lot of these are Spiffo 9 picks. 1, Platinum Tinted Darkness. I believe this is one by Timothy Wolfe. I think the second book in the series just came out. I read this for my first chapter reads in Spiffo 9. I can't recall exactly what it's about. It has a girl on the cover with a sword. I'll pop it up here. But I do remember liking the first chapter enough to put it in books I wanted to read. 2. Okay. This is Earn Your Extra Credit. This is a Megan Quinn book. All of Megan Quinn's books are in here because sometimes I get in the mood for the rom-coms. And so that's interesting. 3. All right. This is Scarlet and Sunder, if you can see. And this actually made it into... This was a semi-finalist in Spiffo 9. I enjoyed the first chapter. That's why it got in there. It's a chunker though, so... Not sure how that's gonna go. And 4. Okay. This is The Sparrow and the Oak Tree, which is a fantasy romance, I believe, by Jamie Jackson. I may have said that wrong. I'll pop the cover up here. I actually now do own a copy of this because I loved the first chapter so much and it went on a sale and I bought it. So I am super, super happy with all the picks out of there. And now we have this backlist bag of love because it doesn't fit into a jar, and I wonder, like, upping the size of each of my jars, but why? I like this bag. This bag was actually given to me by a physician that I work with who got it, I believe, is handmade in Peru. So I always wanted something to do with this, and it fits perfectly in with this. So, okay, this has so many titles in it. I did mix them up. 1, Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller. Now, I've liked some of Trisha Levenseller's work, and I haven't liked others. So I don't know what this one is particularly about, but it intrigued me and made me want to read it. It's a YA, I believe, which I'm not interested in a lot of YA these days. Alright. 2. Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me! This is See Me After Class, which is the same series as the other Megan Quinn book I pulled. That is freaking hilarious. Megan Quinn really wants me to read her this month. 3. Alright. This is The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. You know, I am down for some horror books. I've heard a lot of good things about T. Kingfisher. I've only read one book by her in the past, but interested to read more of her. 4. Final pick. And this is an indie book. This is Of Honey and Wildfires. And this came into my jar because this was before I had my indie self-pub jar. So a lot of indie picks are still in here, but that's okay because we love us some indie books. And this is by Sarah Chorn, and I've heard a lot of great things about this. I don't know what it's about. The cover is beautiful. I'll pop it up here. It's pinky colors. It looks like a western, maybe fantasy western romance. I don't know, but I'm super interested to find out. Now, so we've picked the jars. What will I maybe read for a sequel? I have absolutely no idea. I would like to continue, of course, I say this every month, to get to Dresden. A lot of things I would like to get to as far as sequels goes, but I'm not sure exactly which one I will get to. But let me share with you a few books that I may read for Realmathon. I picked some short books that I own because, you know, we're always trying to get rid of our own TBR. I picked some short books. The kind of prompts that you get extra points for in Team of Shadows are a black cover, 50% black cover, and building on the cover. Also in Realmathon, everybody gets points for a school setting. So I kind of picked some books out of my, you know, my physical that may work for these prompts. So I have Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong, which of course fits the black cover prompt, and I've heard not the best things about this book, but it's short. It will either A, I'll like it, or B, it'll get it off of my physical shelf if I decide to unhaul it. And of course we have Piranesi by Susanna Clark. Either I've heard very divisive things about this book, either you love it or you hate it. And I actually own 2 copies of Piranesi. I don't know how it happened, but it just happened. But one of these copies needs to be read, and it's this black one. Then Divine Rivals, of course, it is a black cover, 50% black cover, and I just want to be in the hype with this. Am I a fantasy romance girly? I don't know. Like I said, I want to dive more into that genre, but I don't know if I'll like this. I've heard some majority positive things about this, but then some negative things. So I want to try my hand out, and it's a little bit shorter. And romances, I tended to go a little bit faster with. Then we have the Atlas 6, which has a 50% back cover, and it also is in a school setting. So it's a fairly short one. You know, I hear the hype. I buy the book because I'm hyped. Why? I don't know. Do I really think this may be a book for me? I don't know. But we're gonna try it out. At least try it out and see in the month of March. And then I have Combat Codes by Alexander Darwin, who also has a black cover and is in a school setting, so it'll give me extra points. And I've had this on my shelf for a long time, and I want to get to it. I even own the sequel, so I thought I would like it that much that I bought the sequel. So this originally was self-published and then got traditionally published. So there you go. Super excited about that. I have a couple more black books that I own that I pulled that are a little bit longer that I probably won't get to, but I left them as options because between Realmathon and this readathon that I'm doing with my personal book club, I feel like that I could probably fit some of these books in. It's going to be a busy month, and I will be vlogging this month. I will be vlogging Realmathon. I'll be vlogging all of that, all of the goodness, and I will hope to see you guys join that as well. Join us. Let me know what you guys are reading in the month of March. What are you planning on participating in? What are your priority reads? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next one.